Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right, hey guys, it's me Mustafa. It's a pleasure to see you guys again with another video. Today I am making a video about all the movies I watch this July. Um, I think I watched 10 movies this month, which is not bad actually. And I forgot my headphones, so I'm using this microphone. Um, it's portable, so it really helps. Um, so let's go to the first movie, and the first movie is Evil Dead. Dun dun dun. Um, Evil Dead, the 2013 version. Um, what did I think about it? Did I like it? Yeah. I think it was. There was a couple scenes in the movie where I was like, "Ooh, that is pretty graphic." And I'm gonna be honest, this was my first ever introduction into an Evil Dead franchise, so I didn't know what to like prepare for, and I didn't understand the whole idea of like parasites and what they do, and but I got the gist right after like the first like 2 or 3 deaths in this movie. Um, I think there was a couple graphic scenes that I saw, especially the one in the basement with the whole like, ugh. And I think there was one with the knee, and it was like a knife or a blade and the knee. I'm trying to make this PG, but you guys get the idea. Just like, shh, I'm doing ASMR like that. It was like that, and honestly, that was pretty brutal. Um, I didn't know that blood was the thing that kind of is the thing that gets into if you get your blood into your system with a wound or anything, you're automatically done. There's no saving you. I don't think I've seen a film from the Evil Dead franchise where there's blood that goes into you and then somehow you are completely okay. But to be fair, I say that, but then there's other movies where the characters are drenched in blood and nothing happens. But I think it's a wound. I think it has to be a specific wound that has to occur for you to actually turn into a parasite. So, my star rating out of 5 on Letterboxd, I give it a 3 stars. Um, would I recommend it? Of course. If you're into Evil Dead, watch it. If you watched the most recent one, which I will get to, don't worry, I will get to that one. Um, but all in all, Sam Raimi created a great franchise, and I really did like it, especially for my first Evil Dead franchise movie. So the second film I watched this month was Evil Dead Rise, and I can say this was my favorite movie out of the franchise. Um, I love some of the camera work on this film. I really love the idea of it being a mother, and there was moments where I was like, "Oh, there's kids involved in this," and usually, there's like the whole stereotype of like, "Oh, there's kids in a movie, so they're not gonna die or nothing bad is gonna happen to them," but they did push the envelope. They did, and um, was there stupid characters in this film? Like the 2013 version, I don't really think so. I think there was moments where maybe the boyfriend at the opening scene was pretty stupid, but after realizing what has happened to her at the end scene, the final scene, it makes sense why he was the one that was gonna jump into a pool. Um, I do also want to say this one thing. I really liked this reminded me of Final Destination 5 where the or mm, I would say Final Destination 5 where the basically the movie is like a cycle. You basically see this end and then the start at the very end. It's really cool. I really love when a person can tie the whole story again. I think this movie was really good. I really liked it. I don't really have a lot of complaints with the film, um, but I don't really understand what best way to defeat Oh, it's Deadites, not Parasites. I'm sorry. I said Parasites, Deadites. Hopefully, I didn't piss people off. But Deadites. Anyways, this one was my favorite one. And so, for that reason, I will give this movie a 3.5 out of 5. I really liked this one. Um, and the whole mutation thing, I don't want to spoil it. By the way, there should be spoilers in these like reviews I'm doing, but oh well. The next movie is the 2026 Evil Dead Burn, the most recent one. Ooh, I knew this movie was gonna suck when the first opening intro was like ass shaking. No offense. I knew this movie was gonna suck. I have to say one thing: the music was pretty dope in this film. The music was pretty good. Um, I was really pissed off about this film. I really was, and of course they brought in more lure, and of course they tied it back to actually Evil Dead, the movie that came out before it. Um, but I don't know. I didn't like this film. I didn't like the CGI at the very end. I I really hated how stupid one character was, and it was the mother. I'm sorry, the mother really pissed me off, and that's why I'm gonna give this movie a low rating. Um, the mother did really annoyed me. Um, jeez, that mother really got under my skin. Um, I understand grieving. Everybody grieves in a certain way, and maybe people are more vulnerable in that situation. But if she did it just because she never been kissed like that before in her whole life, then I'm sorry. He was probably not a good husband. Um, and the fact that you still feel like you could get kissed like that after like 15 years is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I guess the Deadite knew she hasn't been kissed like that in 15 years, so they're like, you know what? We know what's gonna get her going. We know what's gonna get her to like that urge. That urge is gonna come back. She's gonna want it. So, anyways, Evil Dead Burn, I give a 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was the lowest one. I haven't watched the other Evil Dead movies. I plan on watching them, especially when Halloween comes around. But Evil Dead Burn definitely gets a 2.5. But I was so excited because there were so much cool things about the film, and honestly, there was moments in the film where I was like, okay, I did like that. That was pretty cool. But there was other parts of it where after that scene with the mother, I just I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Um, Next one, Troy, the 2004, starring Brad Pitt. Honestly, I love these films where you could clearly see there's a lot of money and work that's going into this, and it's not CGI, and it's actually trying to make it as somewhat realistic but also Hollywood as possible. Um, I, I have to be honest. I was very surprised and amazed by how huge it felt and how real it felt. It felt like people actually like getting like murdered. Like people were getting murdered um, in this film, and I was like, wow, this is so great. I could definitely respect any studio, any director that is willing to make a movie like this than something that is full of CGI and it's just like, you know what, let's make the people in the background just like fake people. Um, it didn't feel like that. It felt grand, and honestly, for that time and for that period, I think it's a great film, and I recommend anybody watching it. I gave this movie a 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. Honestly, it could have pushed a 4.5, but I really liked this film. I really did. Which now we go into the other counterpart, which is the Odyssey. I gave a review for this film. I felt like the first half was not as good as the second half. The second half honestly slaps, and the first act, for all the flaws it has, I understand that the movie is trying to just be a slow burn so we get used to the world that we're going to be going into. And also, the first act had characters that I was kind of not invested in, and those people being the likes of Travis Scott. I don't know. I don't really want to see Travis Scott in a film that's supposed to immerse me into it. But talking about his music, he makes great music. Um, but I really like the body horror of this film. I think Nolan should make a horror film. I know he was talking about it. I think he should. And I think the best. I'm so sad, but I would really want Christopher Nolan to make a Clayface movie. But there's already been a Clayface movie coming out, which I'm pretty excited about. Um, So my review for this film is also a 4 out of 5 stars. So the next film I have watched was Inception, another Christopher Nolan film. There's going to be a lot of Christopher Nolan in this review. Um, I I'm pretty. I was really impressed. I think this movie is really, really good. Um, I really like this film, and if people call it overrated, they could call it overrated. But I really like this film, and I really like the ending. I think the ending, the story of Cobb and him not really caring if seeing his kids, if it's real or not, if it's actually a reality or if it's just a dream. I think it's very like fitting for the character arc that he's in. Um, and honestly, I really liked this one thing about Christopher Nolan, and I know he wants to make a 007 James Bond movie, and he was linked with it. I really like the shades of James Bond, and you could definitely see his influence in James Bond, especially with like the whole ski, snow, all these things. I'm like, oh, this is James Bond 100%. It reminded me of my favorite James Bond film, Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is one of my favorites of all time. It's my top 5 movies of all time. So it did definitely get points for that as well. Honestly, the cast did a great job. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's an amazing film. And I will give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So, the next film, we talk about action. Now we're going to another film, which is The Running Man. I just wanted to make it sound cool. Um, Richard, he's a man that's basically trying to make money for his sick daughter. And I think, if I'm not wrong, his wife is dances on the side for men, if I'm not wrong. Um, and long story short, we just see this guy try to avoid having the ability to hurt people, but unfortunately, there's people coming after him, trying to hurt him, and basically Richard lives. That's the slogan. That's the slogan of this film. This film wouldn't be 2 hours if he didn't live. Um, I think there was cool action scenes. I don't want to give it a too low of score because it wasn't really trying to be something greater than what it was. Um, so I was more in the range of it's just mid or average. Glenn Powell did a great job. I really like Glenn Powell. Um, I think he has a very charismatic look to him. The Running Man, the 2025 version featuring Glenn Powell, I will give it 3 stars. So, the next movie I watched is Tenet, the 2020 version, Tenet. I gotta say, the first thing, again, Christopher Nolan, another film by him. I really respect the ambition of what it was trying to do. It felt like he was trying to go into the bag of Inception, try to basically create that magic again. Did I think he did it? Not really, but I respect the ambition. I really do. I think there was a reason why this movie was called a flop, or the one that failed in terms of people and the box office. But I don't think it's that bad of a film, like, at all. I don't think it's that bad. I just don't think it holds that well compared to an Inception. I No offense. I think Inception does laps around this. Well, Tenet, I think I like the idea of going in reverse and the whole like science. I really like science. I love science in action films. It's really cool. Um, but I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. So for that reason, although I think it was a good film and I respect it, and there was moments where I did like it, but there was moments where I was like, okay, I get it. You're trying to do something that you did in the past, and I don't think it's working that well. So for Tenet, I am giving a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next one is The Sheep Detective. Da, 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 da. All right, The Sheep Detectives. I really like this film. I love films like this. It's the best. Um, to be fair, I did forget all the sheep's names. Um, and a winter sheep. I think I'm a winter sheep as well, so I probably would get picked on the farm. But I really like this film, and I think it was really cute. And honestly, I think Amazon did a really good job. Amazon, you did a great job with this film, because honestly, I had such a blast watching it, and I have nothing bad to say about it. I don't. I think it's such a good film to watch with your family, with your girlfriend, with your friends that are okay with sheeps, you know? Um, yeah, it's a murder mystery, and I really like it. So I gave this movie a 4 out of 5 stars, or 4.5 stars. Let's see. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Go watch it. This is one that I do recommend. All right. The next movie is Scarface. Okay, I'm not going to try to do the accent because I'm not really that good at accents. But I I have to say this. I really do respect the ambition of this film. Um, Again, this is a film that I could definitely see why it was very popular. Personally, for me, I was not a big fan of it. I wasn't. But at the very end, I just couldn't help but just be so gravitated towards the charismatic main actor. And I was at first I was like, I'm invested. I want to see why this movie was so good. And honestly, there's parts of it where I'm like, okay, I see it. I definitely see it. It reminds me of like any old James Bond film. And I hate to use James Bond as an example, but I feel like he is like the echelon of like all action films. And it does remind me of that. Um, but I don't know what was I expecting. I don't know what I was expecting coming into this film to say like, oh, I love this film. But all I could say is I saw the ambition. I respect the craft. And for that reason, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. So there's like 3 more movies left. So I did definitely watch more than 10 movies, I'm sure. And the other 2 movies, I'm gonna just do it back to back, so I make this quick for you guys. Is Sherlock Holmes, the first and the second movie, which I should maybe say the names of them. So, um, the first Sherlock Holmes, the 2009 one, and then the 2011 version Sherlock Holmes, The Game of Shadows. Um, I think both of these films have different personalities. I do like the first one more than the second one. Um, but I really liked his films. I really did. I really liked the whole idea of it being a murder mystery, but Sherlock Holmes being very smart and very quick witted. And honestly, I do want to watch more Sherlock Holmes films because, again, murder mysteries are always so fun to watch. Because it's more, how do I say it? It's like a call and response. Like, it's so much more interactive watching films that are murder mysteries because you're actually trying to solve the mystery yourself. I think that's why Scream did a really good job, and why the franchise always does really well. Um, so again, it's a movie that I recommend. I really like the time place it was set in. I'm not really a big fan of pieces that are in the UK at, you know, in I guess like the 1950s, I think 1960s. I forgot what era it is. I'm sorry, but it's just when London is becoming big. Um, so yeah, I liked it. I did. I can't say anything, but it was a really good film. The first Sherlock Holmes, the 2009 version, I will give a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And the second version, although I really liked how we had a character that was as smart as X character, and there was moments where I'm like, did he die? Um, but again, 3 out of 5 stars. Um, I think it was a great film. I think it was. I think both of the films have different personalities, so depending on what you like, yeah. So, the last film I watched is Smile 2. Um, I liked it. I did. I did like it, but I felt like it became a little more repetitive and boring. I felt like the first one had something so eerie and creepy about, and then the second one also it felt like a more like Hollywood version of it, which makes sense because again, our main character is like a major artist. I really like that the character feels trapped. Instead of this person being alone, they're always surrounded by people, which elevates the tension. And every single time a character it feels like our main character that we're following. And I have to say, Sky Riley, if that's her name, I forgot her name, but she does a fantastic job, and she's a great singer. And the music from that, like Blood on White Sand, is so good. It's so good. I already grieved you. Songs like the, she should make an album. She should make an album. Um, but yeah, I really liked it, but even the ending scene was pretty cool too. Um, but I think it was missing something. I felt like it was becoming too boring and repetitive at a certain point. And so for that reason, I will give that movie a 3 out of 5 stars. So that is all the movies I watched this July. If you guys have movie recommendations, please send them my way so I can watch them and I could be like, whoa, you guys have great taste. Um, and yeah, if you guys want, I could review your letterboxes as well. Maybe I can make that a video as well. But thank you guys all for watching today. I'm tired now because my legs hurt from sitting apple crossed. And hopefully the audio was good because I'm not using my Apple headphones. All right, see you guys.